If there is one game I can safely say I know I played as a kid, grown up, on a cruise ship, and in a bar, it's Uno. I mean, it's been around longer than I've been alive, which isn't saying much, I know. I love the game, but it gets my goat when I'm playing with someone new and they start making all these plays that I know in my heart of hearts are not in the rules. Or are they? Have I been wrong all these years? Well, if you're curious like me, get ready for an Uno reverse because I found the official website and read all the way through. So you don't have to. What are the real rules of Uno? Stay tuned. It's the Dex Vidal Show. Hi, friends. It's your boy, Dex. Back in the day, as a kid in Houston, I remember spending several weekend mornings at my grandparents' house while my mom was at work. It was so fun. We would all make breakfast together. I would do the scrambled eggs and toast, Chef Boyardee Dex, so proud of myself, and my grandparents would cook the rest while I set the table. Then we ate and talked and passed around the newspaper. I was just looking for the comic section, but I still felt like such a little adult. Man, remember just sitting and reading a physical newspaper every day? Like, like licking your finger and like turning the pages or looking for like section, B2 or whatever. Now it's like, well, okay, let me just pull up the app on my phone and scroll through. After that, my grandfather would pull out a small card table. I'd bring over the folding chairs, and we would play cards over coffee. Well, he had coffee. I had milk in a coffee mug. He taught me how to play Crazy Eights, Old Maid, Go Fish, Blackjack, and you know where I'm going with this, Uno. That was my favorite. So the internet was interneting and brought me to some vintage Tumblr posts, appropriate ones. And in one of the comments, it said, the only rules of Uno are what you can convince the rest of the table the rules are. And I literally laughed out loud because every person or every group I've ever played the game with always busts out some supposed rules that I've never heard of. And they look at me like I'm crazy. As if. So I decided to go on Uno's official website and do my own deep dive into what the rules really are to put this debate to bed once and for all. And no, this episode is not being sponsored by Uno or Mattel. I thought it would just be fun to talk about. But they can if they want to. Now, for those of you who have no idea what game I'm talking about, here's a brief overview. Uno is a card game for 2 to 10 players. Each player starts with 7 cards face down. The goal is to be the first player to match and discard all the cards in your hand until none are left. Whenever a player gets down to their last card, they shout, Uno. Again, very basic summary here. So let's jump into original or classic Uno. Here's some of the questions I had. I'll ask them to you too, and then give the official ruling. Let's see if we were right all along. Question 1. In a game of 3 or more, after the cards are dealt, which player is supposed to start the game? According to UnoRules.com, if you said the player to the left of the dealer, you're right. And if you said the youngest player in the group, you're also right. Trick question there. But yep, those are the 2 official options. And then gameplay goes clockwise. Okay, next question. And I will admit that I myself got this wrong. Question 2. If a player has no matches or chooses not to play a card in their hand and must draw from the pile, do they just draw 1 card and play or pass? Or do they keep drawing from the pile until they can play? Side note, not sure why you wouldn't want to play a card in your hand if you could, but I guess you have the option. Anywho, the rules say you only have to draw 1 card and either play it or add it to your hand. I cannot tell you how many times I was duped into drawing 7 or 11 cards until I can finally play something. Those days are over. Now here's another one that stumped me. Question 3. At the start of the game, if the first card turned up from the draw pile is an action card, meaning skip, reverse, draw 4, etc., is a new card chosen or is it carried out by the first player? I feel like I should be playing the Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. So the answer is the card is played and affects the first player. So, for example, if the first card is a skip, then the first player is skipped. If the card is wild, then player 1 selects the color and game continues. But wait, there's more. The exception to this rule is when a wild draw 4 card starts the game. In that case, then you return it to the draw pile, reshuffle, and start the game again. Looks like we're learning together here. It's so fun to see someone get down to their last 1 or 2 cards and then see a wild draw 4 just mollywopped on them. Look, all is fair in love and Uno. But other than not being able to start the game with it, are there any other rules around the wild draw 4 card? That leads us to question 4. True or false? As long as it's your turn, you can play a wild draw 4 card anytime you want. Are we locked in? Final answer? Well, if you said true, sorry for you, because the answer is false. You can play a wild draw 4 card during your turn, but if and only if there are no other cards in your hand that you could possibly play. Okay, Dex, but how would anyone know if I was bluffing anyway, you ask? Apparently, and I never knew this, if the player who would have to draw suspects you are lying, they can challenge you. And if they do this, you have to show them your whole hand. If they're right and there was another card you could have played, then you have to draw 4. But according to UnoRules.com, if you're right, then they have to draw 6 cards now. Talk about a smackdown. I will be playing by this rule from now on, and you should be too. Okay, so this last question is my favorite and I am sure has started many a fight. So here's the official ruling. Question 5. In original Uno, can you stack 2 or more cards together on the same turn, like 3 5s or a pair of reverses? What do you think? Survey says, nope, not allowed. Trying to be slick. Now, these are just some of the rules for a classic or original Uno, for those of you who are a purist like me. Additionally, there are at least 35 variations of the game, including Uno Stacko, Uno The Office, and Uno Angry Birds. So while it is fair to say that some of your friends may have gotten other rules from playing other versions of the game, most of those come with different cards and or different game pieces. More like spin-offs. Shout out to the @RealUnoGame account on Twitter, because they have been letting people have it over the years. One post said, you cannot stack a draw 2 on a draw 2. Go ahead, roast us. And then one user commented, thank you for the cards, now we'll take it from here. I don't know who works harder, Uno Twitter or all the fast food chains during the chicken sandwich wars. All entertaining. Now, for those of you who play by the rules and also just love the part of the game where your opponents have to draw a whole lot of extra cards, there is a legit version of Uno that allows for both. It's called Uno Show 'em No Mercy, and it came out in 2023. Show 'em No Mercy is an extreme edition of the game that comes with an additional 56 cards. One of these newbies is a, get this, draw 10 card, which can apparently cause so much mayhem that one of the rules in this game is once you reach 25 cards in your hand, you're just out. On the flip side, when you're putting down cards, stacking is allowed, including with draw 10s. That's wild, pun intended. Sorry, it was just too good. Though this cutthroat version of the classic was completely sold out when it first came out, if you want to play it today, don't worry. I recently checked and Show 'em No Mercy is in stock online. Not sure about in stores, but come to think of it, what stores sell card games today anyway? If you know of one, let me know in the comments. I want to say thank you for reminiscing with me about one of my favorite card games as a kid that we can still play today. Sometimes I think it's nice just to take a break from all the serious things in our lives and just have some fun, right? So the next time you're on a road trip and not driving, at a friend's house or at the bar, here's one more thing you can do. Also, feel free to comment below and let me know your go-tos for game night. Any other game rules I should settle the score on? Let me know. Well, on that note, until next time, Uno out. Bye.